So welcome back once again to Fanfiction Ideas, where I talk about fanfictions that I may or may not do, or tried to do and failed miserably at it. And this time, yeah, this is going to be this was my idea for a fanfiction, a cartoon version of Civil War. Like, what would it have been like if Civil War happened in an animated shared universe? So, in here, in this shared animated universe, I kind of had it that, you know, there had been superheroes popping up, a lot as of late. Like, the starting point for, like, the first animated superheroes in this universe was the Powerpuff Girls, but there were others before them, like the Crystal Gems, even the Autobots and the G.I. Joe showed up. But the era of the young superhero, the era of, like, the very young child superhero stuff didn't really happen until, like, the Powerpuff Girls showed up. They were like the mark of a new coming of heroes and whatnot. And from there, a lot more showed up. So that was kind of the thing, is that, you know, there was this, and, you know, more of these superheroes started showing up. The more and more, like, the more threats came about. And during one event involving several of these characters coming together to fight, I can't remember what villain I wanted to have, but yeah, what happens is essentially massive damage caused, and that's the moment where the United Nations, backed by the Global Justice Network, which were pretty much in the Kim Possible series like the SHIELD of that series, and they essentially are like, look, this shit's going on too long. We're going to have to register these young superheroes. It doesn't help that they're kids. A lot of them are kids with powers. We are essentially giving kids it's like giving a kid a gun and telling him, hey, go protect somebody, even though no one asked you to do that. So it's an even larger concept, that, considering that the vast majority of these superheroes are young teenagers, and they are, running around with all this power that a lot of them don't know how to control. And that's made a lot of people nervous for a long time. People were cool with, in this universe, people were cool with the Joes because they were a task force by the U.S. and endorsed by the UN. You also had the Autobots, who helped stop the invasion from the Decepticons, and they're out in the Transformers in this continuity are out in the public. People know about the Autobots and Decepticons, because in this kind of shared universe, I always had it, and I always kind of have it, as well as my friend Jason Voorhees 2011, that we always have this mix of G1 meets IDW comics. It's like a fusion of G1 and IDW comics, same with G.I. Joe, where it's a fusion of those two eras. And in there, yeah, they've had, and we've also had the Earth Core from Inhumanoids, and a few others here and there that have shown up in this timeline, like the Crystal Gems have shown up, but they were never really, like, people never really focused on them. People, like, the Global Justice Network knew about them, but was like, yeah, we're gonna leave them alone. But now with the whole thing with with Homeworld coming down, and we've seen the marks of what happened last time, yeah, we need to put a stop to this. So registration comes out for the superhero community. And as one would expect, there are those who are for it and those who are against it. Leading the charge for those who are against it is Danny Phantom. Danny is very much against this. He's been very much cheated by the government, of course with the guys in white, and he's always had this sense of, yeah, this isn't freedom, this is, we are going to be micromanaged, we won't be able to do our jobs if we can't, if we are consistently being told where to go, and what if they tell us to do something we don't want to do, or tell us to go, keep us from somewhere we have to go. And that's the big thing right there, is that a lot of these characters are like, yeah, we don't want to do that, we don't want to be micromanaged. But there are others who are like, no, this is a good thing, we've been way too out of control. And the person leading the pro-registration side is Kim Possible. Kim in here is very much, she was also one of the early superheroes that has been around, of the young superhero era that's been around, and even though she's kind of leery about the Global Justice Network, she's still like, look, I think, yeah, we've been, running around, a lot of us have powers and we don't know what to do with them, so maybe it's time we do kind of put our foot down and just be like, maybe we should play ball, or something a lot worse is going to happen to a lot of us. So that's kind of so Kim's the leader of this group, of the pro registration group, and there were so many characters I wanted to use in here, and there were so many different sides. One side I really thought, one character joining the pro registration, which was kind of a surprise, but I really thought about it, I was like, yeah, she probably would if she really thought about it. Yeah, Star in this story joins the pro registration side. And you may be thinking, whoa, hold on, DPZ, there's no way Star would take, authority. There's no way that she would join any kind of, this kind of, because she would recognize, that this isn't right. She does, but however, how I wrote it is that Star fully, understands that, yeah, maybe we do need to be controlled, because she has so much power, and she was there during the event that destroyed everything, that caused this whole thing to go into motion. So she's very much like, look, maybe we need to, be put in check. I have powers that I'm still learning, and you know how much damage I did to Echo Creek and have done to my own kingdom? Just for fun? Maybe it's time maybe it's time I start acting like a princess and, join, put myself in check. Someone's gonna need to, I need to be controlled. Maybe I do need to be controlled in some situation. So Star, regrettably, joins the pro registration side. And Marco, of course, not wanting to leave Star behind, joins there shortly after. Now, the other thing is that some characters are kind of split up. Like, Penn joins the pro registration side because he's like, yeah, maybe we do need some form of control. And Sashi joins the anti-registration side because she's like, no, this is not right. And in this, yeah, they are in a relationship, but their relationship is put on the rocks because they're on the opposite sides of the board on this. The Crystal Gems are also split up in here that, the Crystal Gems, Pearl, Peridot, and Sapphire all join the pro, where Ruby, Ruby, Amethyst, and Lapis do not. They split off and do their, go their own way. Whereas Steven and Connie and Lion, they don't, they check out. They essentially just check out, as does Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls, while Buttercup joins the anti, and Blossom joins the pro side of the argument. Yeah, some superheroes I had that, some of them just wanted to be neutral parties because they couldn't stand the idea of watching their families be torn apart, or their relationships be torn apart. Because they all, a lot of them knew, this is a really bad idea, and this is not going to end well, so I'm going to just go neutral and just slip into the shadows. I'm just going to, hide out for a bit. So that was kind of the big thing. A few other things that happened was that Optimus, even though he's back, the Autobots are backed by the UN, were like, well, you guys cause a lot of damage too, you should register too. And Optimus says, I'm not even I'm Optimus Prime, I'm the leader of my people, and until the people of Earth get this solved, I'm going to go, I'm just going to step out of this. The Autobots are not going to be used to hunt people who are just trying to, protect others. So the Autobots make themselves a neutral party. The Joes, however, don't get the same thing. The Joes actually are on the pro registration side, even though some of them are like, yeah, this is bullshit. This is total bullshit. But, we have orders. The Autobots, Optimus puts a line in the sand saying, if the UN still wants, to have the aid of the Autobots, you will leave us alone you will leave us out of this. The Joes can't say the same because, yeah, Cobra's still kind of a menace. Another thing that I had planned for this is that there's another element. Much like how when Tony Stark joined forces with Norman Osborn in the pro registration side, in here, the JGN and the government actually employ the aid of David Xanatos from Gargoyles to join and actually form his own team of supervillains to hunt down any unregistered superhero and lock them up. So that was kind of the idea. And yeah, Xanatos, you might be thinking, well, what about Vlad? Vlad I was kind of thinking as well, but Xanatos is a lot more saner and would definitely play the long game better than Vlad would if I was to do like Dark Reign. So David Xanatos would definitely make it, would be a cool aspect to this, where he would be more, he'd be more than willing to help out in this situation. So that was kind of my idea for a cartoon Civil War. That was kind of my idea for that was pretty much it in a nutshell. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this story? Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? And who would you have participate in this cartoon Civil War? If you didn't notice already, I didn't put like DuckTales and all that in there, mostly because I wanted to have it a little more believable. I wanted to have it like, yeah, you could see these characters on Earth, you could see these characters on Earth, and, all of them coexisting in this kind of shared universe. And yes, I'm fully aware I would like to have a little believability, duck people existing in the same world where, human-like characters exist doesn't really work well with me. I don't really play that, so I didn't do that here. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.